Welcome to For the Long Run, the podcast exploring the why behind what keeps runners running long, strong, and motivated. I'm your host, Jonathan Levitt. I've been running for a few years now and have the privilege of meeting many incredible runners on my travels all across the country. This podcast is intended to share those amazing conversations. And welcome back. I'm here with Allie and Michaela Hackett from Boston. We are interviewing and recording here in Boston. Actually, it's Cambridge. But anyway, thanks for joining in today.
Thanks for having us. Yeah, I'm excited.
For sure. This is the first 3-person podcast I've ever done, and we're not holding microphones, so it's a lot of new all in one here. So first question, and we can decide who goes first, but who is Allie and who is Michaela Hackett?
I'm Michaela Hackett. I'm Allie Hackett, and we are runners for the BAA. Let's see, something unique about Allie, though. I'm taller than Michaela. Everyone needs to know that. 1.5 inches. I'm older. Michaela's older. Yeah. And we are accountants at Ernst & Young. Yes. In the John Hancock Tower, and we run all over Boston. All over Boston.
Awesome. Yeah. So you're both training for the Olympic trials happening here, or happening in about 4 weeks. Yes. And you're in different places with training at the moment. What is it like to live together, train together, and have similar marathon PRs, but be in a different place of progress at the moment?
Well, it's a lot of fun having someone who shares the same interests as you and passions. So we keep each other accountable. It's awesome just to know that she is always up for a run together, and we always have training partners. Yeah. So we were both training together for most of this marathon buildup. Yes. And it was going really well. And then when I got my little foot injury, Michaela, this is Michaela talking. I have a slight little stress reaction in my left foot. So I haven't ran in like a week and a half, but I've now the past 2 days been on the Ultra G. So that's good. I get to run a little bit on the Ultra G. And I know Allie's killing her training, even though she doesn't really tell me a lot about it because she probably doesn't want me to feel out. I don't know. I don't want to say, I had a great run, it's going awesome, and then have her say, oh, I wish I could be running
I'm
too.
Like, oh, how was your run? Don't tell me too much about it. I don't want to know.
So jokes aside, how do you balance that? Because you seem to be each other's biggest supporters, and it's, I mean, I've sort of observed it from the outside, but it's cool to see you two cheering each other on and all that good stuff. And has it been mostly, has the training lined up pretty well over the last couple of years in terms of picking a race and training for a similar distance at least?
Yeah, so the past couple of years, we both always pick the same race, but we don't end up racing the same race. Our first marathon was supposed to be CIM, and Michaela, I got injured and didn't run CIM, but Allie PR'd, first debut marathon, qualified, and then 6 months later I ran Grandma's, and she ran the half. So we were both like...
And that was 2019?
Yes, 2019, June 2019. So we were both like, she was running the half at Grandma's and I was running the full, so we were like, both had the same, I guess, goal race, but yeah, we were definitely training together, and I was doing marathon training basically, even though I was doing the half, just because,
miles
if
on
we're
miles.
Starting to run together, I'm just probably going to do her whole run with her. Yeah. So that worked out well. That was fun. And I got to cheer her on for the marathon and watch her qualify because I knew she could do it because I could do it. So
True.
So why the marathon? Why something longer than a half marathon, or longer than an hour? Or what is it that that gets you excited about that distance?
Well,
just beginning in college, I remember figuring out the longer I ran, the better I was. Started like sophomore year when I did the 3K and then the 5K, and then junior year when I did the 10K. I was always very kind of cautious. Like, we weren't super high mileage in college. Our coaches were awesome, like giving us like rest when we needed to, and so we didn't really go for longer distances until our junior and senior year when we did the 5K and 10K, and we just remember the long runs were our favorite, so definitely
it just was a natural fit. It kind of just played out that way.
Cool.
Yeah.
So a question that comes up a lot on this podcast is about balance. And so you both work full-time and train pretty full-time as well. Mm-hmm. How do you manage a high training volume alongside a lot of work as accountants?
I ask myself that question every day. We get up like around 6-ish and do our run like however long, and for like cut out like 2 hours in the morning for our runs, and then get to work around 9, and then from there on out, it's just, you don't think about running, you're just at work, and we love our job, so it's easy to balance when you love both of the things that you're doing, and it's not like a super big chore. Like, we love running in the morning, so getting up early and running is something we enjoy doing, and even if we're like, oh, this workout's gonna be hard, I don't want to do it, I'm tired. Once we get out the door and start, it's usually pretty awesome, and if it's not, it's okay. We know that there will be bad days and good days. Yeah,
for sure.
Then, so a lot of the times, like even when we're marathon training, there's not a lot of time, or we can't always bank on being able to like double, like run twice a day. It's like a blessing when we have time after work to like run twice, to run again, I mean. And so I also think that that's probably a good thing, because it keeps more of that balance. Like, if I didn't have a full-time job, I would probably think that, oh, I need to be running more. And I think that's also probably how I got this like stress reactions, because I'm not used to running super high mileage, and I wasn't busy at work, and I like ran more. I was like, oh, I'm going to run twice a day, like all the time now. And probably not the best decision for me, at least.
Got it. This is a question from a fellow accountant named Brad. He wants to know how calculated your runs are.
How calculated they are. They're pretty calculated. Sometimes to a fault, because, you know, when you're like looking at pace and you're like, oh, it's an easy run, I have to go this pace, and obviously that's not the point of easy runs. Exactly. So now I am happy to say they're not as calculated on recovery days, but pretty calculated on workout days.
Yes. And we have kind of the same loops that we do around like the Charles River, like from our apartment, like around, we know exactly the miles, the mileage.
And then another question is Cortado Club or Cold Brew Club?
Ooh.
So for those listening at home or wherever you might be, Cortado Club is a group run on Thursdays. It meets at 7 o'clock and goes for what they call a leisurely stroll around the river.
Yes.
It's never leisurely, but when it's even more not leisurely, it becomes Cold Brew Club. And these two are notorious for leading Cold Brew Club with a little more energy.
So let's see. Cortado Club, Thursday mornings at Heartbreak. It's supposed to be an easy run, so
most of the time
it is easy. Depends on how I'm feeling.
Depends on how many people are there and who's there, and if you're talking and then you pick up the pace and then you're like blabbing along, just going really fast.
Yeah, it depends on who's there.
So you guys bring a lot of fun into your training, is what it seems like. Is that has there been a time when training wasn't fun, or you look back to college or you look back to high school or whatever it might be? Is your perspective around running different now than it was in the past?
Oh, yes, totally.
Would you say the same?
I would definitely say the same. In the long run, it's always been, like, my outlook on training has always been positive, but there have been times Yeah, we've had phases where it wasn't. We were way too hard on ourselves and like
How'd
stressed
you get
out.
into that?
Yeah, so that was
in college when we were putting a lot of pressure on ourselves.
Yeah.
We were in like a smaller Division I conference, and I think there was a lot of pressure on Allie and I to always be 1 and 2 in a lot of things.
But it was self-put on.
It was it was not
something.
like, oh, like, coach was like, oh, you have to, like, win. Like, he never said that. We had, like, such supportive coaches that were like, you can win. But, like, they weren't, like, you have to do this.
Definitely wanted us to enjoy.
So how did you get out of that?
So, honestly, it was just time and learning and growing because...
Becoming more mature.
Definitely. Because you can... have people tell you, like, oh, do this and it'll benefit you for the long time. Like, you don't have to be so hard on yourself. Like, just be patient. But when it's you in the moment, you still don't know. You still don't know what that looks like. Or you could know what that looks like and not know how to put it into practice. So it was honestly just, like, making mistakes and learning from them. So that's what happened throughout college. But most of college, I remember, like, finding so much joy in running. I loved running, so we got, like, really good. But then I think when we, like, reached our peak in college and probably wasn't, like, fueling correctly or not resting enough, and then almost, like, faced burnout, definitely overtrained a little bit, and then just had to recover from that. And
we always knew that we wanted to run after college, so it was always a positive, like, enjoyment in our lives. I think.
Yeah, we definitely did what we could to make sure that we kept running for the rest of our lives.
What are some of the things you know now that you wish you knew 5 years ago?
Let's see. I know now that a day off will not kill you, and it will probably benefit you in the long term.
Stay safe seasons is my favorite line.
They do.
Recovery runs should be a lot slower.
Yes, I remember. Oh, I don't know.
I remember in college, like, our recovery days was like, well, I still have to run at a 7-minute pace. Like, oh my God.
Now,
no way.
Yeah. And it's just something we learned from, because now I'm like, I'm not racing any slower, but it's just, I'm finding so much enjoyment. And when you're happy, you run.
You race the best when you're happy.
Yes.
That's so true.
Oh, for sure.
Yeah.
Fast forward 10 years. What will you have accomplished in that time?
I definitely want to qualify for the next Olympic trials. That and staying healthy and injury free. I think that's my biggest thing. This is Michaela talking. I'm a little bit more injury prone than Allie. I've definitely had to deal with, like, more, can't run for like a month or something. So my goal is to just always be able to run and never have an injury where I can't run for a long period of time.
So my goal would be, I'll do the same, because I don't want to think I'm, like, unbreakable or anything, because that's definitely not true. I've definitely had flare-ups. So my goal also is to stay injury-free. And yeah, I think I want to run more marathons.
Yes.
Maybe do one of those things where you, like, run a marathon in every state.
Every state?
Yeah.
I want to do every country. No, not every country, every continent.
All right. We'll make a plan. Something along those lines.
So
with marathons.
It's fun that you highlighted something that's more process oriented and not like a tangible, like, I want to run a 2:39 or I want to run this. And I think, so I talked about this with Lou Serafini on the podcast last week, and I asked him, I was like, what are your long-term goals, or why do you do it? And I preempted that by saying there seems to be a consistent trend among elite athletes that I asked this question to. And he was like, well, what do they say? And I was like, well, you have to answer the question first and then I'll tell you. But it's more of the, like, process-oriented, journey-oriented, enjoying every day or most days versus, like, I want to do this, I want to do that, from a time standpoint. And I wonder why amateur runners are so set on time-oriented goals, where elite runners seem to be more oriented to or interested in loving the process and loving the day in and day out. And that's a means to get to the trials or the Olympics or this and that. So what do you think the disconnect is between people who are doing it at a high level, not focusing on the outcome? Like Ben Rosario was the first interview I ever did on this or the first episode I ever released. And he was talking me through a pre-race meeting. He's like, we never talked about time. We didn't talk about any of that. We talked about what you can control. We talked about the things that you've done to get here. And if you do the work, the results will come. And that's one of the best coaching groups in the country. He's one of the best coaches in the country. And then you have, like, even personally, like I spent 4 years, like, I must break 3. I must break 3. That's all that matters. And it took a shift from I need to break 3 to I want to have as much fucking fun as possible running. And then I broke 3. And it was like, I started on that day. I was like, if I break 3 today, that's icing on the cake. I got to the start line, like, super happy. So as someone who is achieving results, or as two athletes that are achieving results, and you're doing it at the higher end, why do you think amateur runners are missing that mark? And not entirely, but it seemed to be a lot. It was a very long question.
No, that's good. It's good. I agree with what you were saying. Amateur runners probably haven't had enough experience. They probably look at the elites and think, oh, like, they're getting these times, they're getting the results too, so they think, oh, I must get the results. But they don't see the full story and the whole process, and probably don't understand that it took years of, like, mistakes and trial and error, like, to find the process is what, I don't know.
Yeah, when we were amateur runners not too long ago.
Back in my day. 2 years ago. 3.
Yeah, really. I definitely thought that, like winning titles or like achieving a time would like you set goals and reach them, and that's how like you progress, which is true to an extent. But once you have met certain times or goals, you realize that that's not the end, and that's not going to
bring you long term.
Yeah, it's not going to bring you enjoyment.
Scott Fauble said, if you don't define yourself by your failures, why should you define yourself by your successes?
Exactly. Ooh. I think that's a good
deep
quote. Yeah, I know.
And he said that after an incredible performance at Boston. So he had that high.
Yeah.
And he was like, all right, I'm going to celebrate it for 24 hours and then back on the horse.
Yeah, I think a lot of amateur runners would probably think that, oh, once I reach this goal, then I can be satisfied and maybe even like done, because they probably don't have that same joy. Like if you're just running just to say, oh, like, okay, I'm going to run as a chore and I have to just meet this time and then I'll be done and I don't have to like run again or something. Yeah. Whereas obviously people who are professional runners don't want that. They want to keep running. Yeah. So they're going to be happier long-term if they
focus on the process.
Yeah, focus on the process, because they know that even if they meet their goals or their times, then they're still going to keep running. So I think that it's good to, like focus on the process, basically.
Is gratitude something that you consciously think about?
Yes. I feel like I do a lot.
Tell me more.
Yes. So one thing I don't do is like gratitude journals or anything. Like, I'm just so bad at journaling. Everyone, obviously I hear that all over social media, and people say to, make a list of all the things you're thankful for, or like keep a journal, and I'm just very bad at doing all that.
But I think you do it in your mind. But like, I do it in my head. I don't write it down.
100% true.
But do you have a practice where like, okay, every day at 7 is what I'm going to think about it?
Definitely.
No, I probably think about it when I'm running, honestly.
It's not structured. It's very just, I feel happy and blessed, so I'm going to be super thankful for, my situation, even if I'm like, oh, I'm struggling with work, running, balance. Whenever I find myself thinking of that, I just think of how lucky we are and how many people would like kill to be in our situations, like just
being able to do both,
being able to run and work and be happy about it with a smile on your face. So even when I'm like, I don't know, going through a bad day, I just think about that and then I'm like, oh, everything's going to be okay.
Yeah. Michaela, you jumped to answer this question. It sounded like you were super excited about...
What about the... Wait, what was the
gratitude.
Oh, gratitude. Yeah.
I feel very blessed when I can run. Probably because I'm in an injured state right now. That when I can run...
and I feel the same way.
Like, I'm like, oh, yes, like, I'm still so... even though I'm injured, I still feel blessed because I ran on an Alter G today. I ran... Like, I'm injured and I still ran. How many people can do that? Like, I don't know. So every time that I can run, I'm just really blessed and really glad. Yeah.
Let's talk about the crew you run with. So you both have some pretty awesome training partners, running with some amazing athletes on the course for long runs and different groups for weekdays. Let's talk about the long runs in particular.
So, long runs. The past month, we've been going on the Boston Marathon course, just getting hills for Atlanta.
Yeah. Honestly, the groups that we run with
changes week
very
to week.
Spontaneous. Probably 2 days before is the longest we'll plan. So, like, I have a teammate, Katie Kellner, who just texted us this morning, like, hey, are you guys working out on Tuesday? Let's get together. And I said, yes, I would love that. So Tuesday morning, we're going to be doing a track workout together.
Yeah. Long runs, Caitlin Goodman on BAA from Rhode Island comes up like Sunday mornings a lot to run the Boston Marathon course with us recently.
And Amanda Nurse.
Other Adidas athletes. Veronica joined you guys last week, right?
Oh, yeah. Yeah, we run also a lot with, like,
Tracksmith
and Heartbreakers. And BAA, of course, because that is our team.
So what's the dynamic with BAA? How did that come about?
So it came about when we were driving across the country, coming back from college after we graduated.
Which was in Texas?
Yes, we went to college in Texas at Abilene Christian University.
Yep.
Go Wildcats.
Yeah.
And we drove home with a rented SUV and a big turtle on top.
Yeah.
Wait, what?
The big...
Are they Thule?
Oh, the Thule.
Thule.
Thule turtle.
It's like a little shell on top of your car.
Yeah, it's a car turtle.
I'm going to call it a turtle. And so all of our stuff, we packed in there and drove across the country. And obviously we were like going out to dinner. And we were just sitting at dinner and we were like, all right, what team are we going to join? Let's reach out to people. And we looked at the BAA, saw their, they have their racing time racing team standards on their website. So we were like, oh, we could qualify for this. And we emailed Coach Michael McGreen and he got back to us right away saying he would love to give us a spot on the team. And the rest is history. That was it.
So does he write programs?
Mm-hmm. Yes.
Cool.
Yeah.
He's great. He wrote all of our marathon build-ups. And,
continues to do so.
What does a week of training look like?
So Sundays are long runs and Mondays are easy. And then we have a track workout either Tuesday or Wednesday. We can pick which day, usually depending on how we're feeling. If we need an extra day to recover, we do workouts on
especially
Wednesdays.
if the Sunday long run was like marathon 20
Yeah, if the Sunday long run was
pace.
Yeah, you guys did like a 6:40, 6:50, 23 miler.
Oh yeah, that was last week. That was a grand old time.
Stout run.
So yeah, workouts either Tuesdays or Wednesdays, and then tempos on Friday.
Thursday's always Cortado.
Yep. Thursday, you can't skip Cortado Club. Just kidding, I have from sleeping in.
All right, I have to say this because Jared told me to give him a shout out. That's where I met my boyfriend, Cortado.
That's true.
He runs for Heartbreak. So
Yeah, nice.
Yeah, so Cortado Club is great if you want to just run or, meet your significant other.
It's always a grand old time.
The Boston running scene also doubles as a dating scene.
Yeah,
For sure. Yeah, it does. And then, then Fridays are tempos along the Charles River usually. It's our go-to spot.
Or some Beacon Hill repeats.
Oh, yeah, always
in the Common.
Yeah,
Beacon Hill's nice.
Yeah.
Beacon Hill Hills.
It's 4 hills. Yeah, and so that's what a week of training looks like.
Cool. How often do you take a rest day?
I like to say
every other Monday.
Yeah.
It's normally Mondays because it's recovery after the long run.
Sometimes. When people ask me that at work, I'm like, oh, I don't really take rest days. Or like, I take
only
them
when I really feel like I need it.
Yeah. But I'm happy to say I've practiced more of being proactive with taking rest days rather than doing it only when I'm in desperate need. So I took a rest day last week on Wednesday in the middle of the week because I did a workout on Tuesday, and I said, you know what, I think tomorrow's a rest day. And I took it as a rest day, and I didn't run. And I'm very proud of myself for doing that. Good job, Allie.
Well done.
Thank you. So I think I will continue that.
Nice.
Yeah, like every other week, maybe. Yeah.
What are you afraid of?
Oh, I knew this question was coming. Why didn't I prepare more?
What am I afraid of? I'm afraid of having an injury where I can't run anymore ever.
I knew you were going to say
I know.
That. I know. I could say something like, oh, I'm afraid of, not being able to run, or...
There's not a lot of things I'm afraid of.
Yeah. Or like something really deep, like losing you.
Oh.
That's my worst nightmare. Yeah, because she's my other half.
That's true.
I would say I'm afraid of like losing my passion for like, I don't know, running or anything else. But I don't think that would happen, so I'm not really afraid of that.
So what do you do to keep the passion?
Always, whenever I feel myself like, I don't know, kind of thinking of anything like a chore, like running or, I don't know, anything in life that I like enjoy doing. If I find myself not enjoying it, I like take a step back, relax, kind of just take time to reset.
Do a puzzle.
Do puzzles.
We love doing puzzles.
Watch some Netflix. Take a nap.
Is napping part of your recovery routine?
Actually, no, I don't remember the last time I took a nap because I never have time for them.
I took a nap yesterday for the first time in a while. Because I left to work for a doctor's appointment and went home.
Nice. I got in a groove of last fall. I would do my long run and nap, and then do the Sunday run and nap. And I did that for like 6 weeks straight.
So every Saturday and Sunday.
And it was amazing. Yeah.
So actually, fun fact. Actually, not a fun fact. I don't know why I said that. In college.
It's just a fact.
It's just a fact. It's not fun. It's not fun. In college, I think that's when I was facing burnout too, was when I was a junior, senior, and like classes were very low key. I didn't have that many, and I had reached like the point where everyone expected me to kind of win a lot of things, and I was running all the time. And I said, okay, well, I have to nap every day because I'm gonna, live the life of a professional runner, recover, run.
It's like I have to nap.
I have to recover. Nap. And there was
napping became a chore.
It really
Isn't that wild?
did. It was amazing. I dreaded it, and because half the time I couldn't fall asleep, and if I couldn't fall asleep, I thought something was wrong with me.
Like, oh my god, body, recover, why don't you recover?
And then so we were stressing more, and then obviously that's not good for recovery. So now if I don't feel like napping, I'm not going to force I just don't really nap anymore. But I do make sure I get enough sleep at night. So like if I'm tired, obviously I'll nap. But if I'm not tired, I'm not going to be like, body, go to sleep.
How many hours a night do you sleep?
8 on the average. If anywhere between 7 and 9, and last night I got 9, it was wonderful. Anywhere between 7 and 9 and I'm good. Like if I get 7, I'm like, all right, could have gotten 8, but shake it off. It's okay. I'm not going to be like I was in college and be like freaking out, like, oh my god, I only got 7 hours, I'm going to die.
So social media is definitely a part of being an athlete today. I know a lot of people that know you guys from across the country through Instagram.
Mm-hmm.
So how do you use a platform like that as part of what you do as athletes?
I probably should use it more, like, to promote, I don't know, like, my team and, like, the races I'm doing, but I find myself scrolling through Instagram but not posting it a lot.
Yes, true. That should be a New Year's resolution of mine, to, like, maybe document a few more things.
Yeah,
and
I'd
share
like to
it.
document more.
Because people do like to see the things that, like, you're doing or that bring you
Like,
joy.
the real things.
Yeah, the real
not
things.
just the highs.
Yeah, and I'm just really bad at coming up with captions. So
that 75% of the time I don't post anything because I'm like, this is a good picture. I don't have a caption.
yeah,
Don't post
so
it.
I
Make it a caption contest.
Maybe
Yeah.
caption this. That's it.
Yeah.
You can only do that once, though. Save it for a good photo.
Every single time.
It's a caption this account.
Yeah.
So it's not an intentional effort. It's sort of like, if it happens, it happens.
Yeah, for
I'd say
sure.
I'd say you're doing a good job for the
Thank you.
unintentional effort. But we have another accounting joke. What are your favorite numbers? This is also from Brad.
My favorite number?
Do you have one?
I feel like I did at one point. I forgot what it was.
I do not have a favorite number.
We can move on.
I like all numbers. All numbers are good.
I'm not discriminatory against numbers.
Who is your favorite Seidel sister?
Oh my gosh.
It's from Molly.
It's from Molly. It's you, Molly. No, I can't choose.
I can't choose.
John Baker wants to know who would win in a fight.
Oh,
For sure, me. Michaela.
Me.
Allie, you know it's me.
That's just because I don't like to fight that much, so I don't fight back a lot. Because I just want the fight to be over, and I'm like, Michaela, stop, because she has more of a temper. So, but she knows that when I do fight back, I can break something.
Allie has perked up a lot here, and she's inching closer and closer to Michaela.
Oh, no. Fun fact, I did break her finger last summer.
She did. We were 24.
Okay.
And she pulled and twisted
I would just like
my
to,
pinky finger.
for the record, I would just like to say that when we were
This
little...
is on the record
Oh,
here.
yes. When we were little, like 10 and under, we physically fought all the time. And then, we grew up, we matured. I would say we didn't physically fight for the majority of our life now.
Yeah.
And then last summer, I don't know why, she just was getting...
I guess I got on a nerve.
She did.
She twisted my
And
finger.
it wasn't even like it was just a little cat fight, like shoving each other, like, ah. And then I just grabbed her hand and I just twisted it and yanked it. And then next thing I knew, her pinky was broken.
Let that be a lesson to you.
And I think she was more sad about it than I was.
I
didn't even cry, and she started crying. She broke my finger. I'm the one who got the finger broken. I didn't cry, and then Allie cried because she felt so
I
bad.
felt so bad. I was like, what did I just do? This is not good. And that was a low point. But it's okay.
So, did you guys do the classic twin thing in elementary school or middle school, pretending to be each other?
So when we were in elementary school and we were in the same class and just sat next to each other, sometimes I guess we'd switch desks, but definitely
I think it was
wasn't anything fun.
I think when you think about twins switching spots, it seems more
exciting
than it actually is. Yeah, we never really did that. Also, because for the first 9 years of our schooling, we went to this private little small Catholic school with the same people. So then, by a couple years, everyone knows the difference between you.
Right.
And then if our teachers didn't
knew the difference.
They would just get us mixed up anyway, so we didn't even have to trick them.
That's true.
It's like, oh, well, you already don't know who I am.
So, we talked a little bit about college and training in college. There's a lot of discussion these days about changing that dynamic, and Mary Kane has been very vocal on changing women's sports. Mm-hmm. What do you think it's going to take to make something like that happen? And we're going from fun to serious real quick here.
Get serious. I think just making it more public, those things that Mary Kane, she brought it up. So that in itself, I think, is going to make a change, because it's going to change the mindset of women in college, I think.
Yeah. I think there's only so much you can do from the outside. Even if you were a coach for someone, you can definitely, promote the healthy atmosphere and attitude.
But a lot of it could be internal.
Yeah, you definitely have to learn through mistakes. Hopefully you don't make that any huge mistakes in college with feeling or being too hard on yourself. But if you make a little bit of mistakes, you'll grow and learn. At least that's what happened for us.
Yeah, we were kind of close to we were definitely underfueling a lot in college.
Yeah.
So what was that? What was that like? And was it systemic? Was everyone on your team?
No, it was
just basically us.
Yeah,
I think on our team when I look back,
because it was also just at that same point in college where I was talking about like napping was stressful because I couldn't sleep, and then we were underfueling and putting a lot of pressure on ourselves, and it was all just because we had this pressure on ourselves to always be the best, and we have to be doing everything right.
And also when you have a twin, it's also very easy to compare. If she's doing something, I should be doing something, or oh, she's doing that, I should be doing that kind of thing.
Yeah, we're identical. We have to be exactly the same.
And
but obviously,
I know. But our team as a whole I think had a healthy atmosphere and dynamic. It's just us personally putting that pressure on ourselves.
Yeah, so we have to get over that, and it has been great ever since.
How did you get over
it? Just honestly,
I think reading about stuff that Mary Kane put out, and more when that started becoming more
normal.
No, you don't have to be hungry all the time and super skinny to run fast. Yeah. When I started hearing that more, Tina Muir came out with when she was her book, and when she was I was underfueling and whatever, it became more easy to accept. Okay, I don't have to constantly be hungry or underfueling or counting calories.
But that was something that you did experience.
Yeah. Oh yeah, and I am very happy we got through that.
Yeah, that's in the past.
So what advice do you have for someone who might be going through that currently? Definitely
just be nice to your body, because it is working for you, not against you, as you may think. So just being kind to yourself and doing what's right for the long term, which is fueling and relaxing and having fun and
not stressing about how much you eat.
Yes, yeah. Let yourself enjoy having fun with friends, or staying out a little later than you think you should, and
having a couple beers.
Yeah, not if you're under 21.
Yes.
Yeah, so just be kind to your body, because it is working for you, not against you.
Cool. I think that's good advice. What we went through the what do you think is next? What's after Atlanta? What's after February 29th?
Oh, we know, actually. Boston. Well, so Coach said that he didn't want to, say, oh, you could probably run Boston. He didn't want to tell us that until after the trials, because he wanted to, make it to the trials and, then assess after how we're feeling. Don't want to, push too hard. But I think it would be really fun just to run Boston. So we might.
In the back of my mind for the past, 3 months, I'm I want to do Boston 2020. I want to do Boston this year. But then I was but it wouldn't be a good idea to do it after 6 weeks after the trials. Or 7.
Would you fun run it, or would you race it?
So I put a lot of thought into this. So kind of fun run, kind of race, race without super high expectations, basically. Because the first time I run Boston, I always said it's not going to be for a very fast time, obviously, because the course is so hard. So if I'm not going for time anyway, then why not do it after the trials if I'm not going to go for time anyway? Just do it for fun.
Which is a good attitude.
Which is a good attitude. And now that we've been running on the Boston Marathon course so much, I really
Isn't it wild out there?
Yeah. It's so crazy.
And we've only done the back half, like the last half.
Yeah.
I've never started from the beginning.
Yeah.
And done the first half.
Well, you got to train for those downhills.
That's true.
Yeah.
But if you go out and back on Heartbreak, you go up and down.
So I think it's harder going out than coming back. Especially from
That's
Newton.
true. Yeah.
Because normally you get a headwind on the way out, and the hills are harder.
No, yeah, that's true. When we run from Boston and run out, it's a lot harder. Even though you're going down Heartbreak, when you come back at the end.
But what people don't
on the overall, it's easy.
But what people don't realize is that it's just 3 little hills or 4 little hills followed by long descents.
Yeah.
So if you're going the other way, you're getting long gradual inclines with some steep hills, downhills. And then magically, a week before the marathon, the wind changes direction.
Of course.
And it's a headwind the whole way. Just both ways.
Wow.
I know.
Well, awesome. So last question, what do you wish people knew about you?
What do I wish people knew about me?
I'm a pretty open book. I feel like a lot of people know a lot about me.
We can come back to that one, but where can we find you on social media?
Okay.
That's an easy one.
Yeah. My Instagram handle is Allie __ Hackett.
ALLIE.
Yes, __ Hackett. And then if you find me, you can find Michaela.
True. It's how one of her posts. I'm tagging it probably.
So she's probably not.
I'm just at Michaela Hackett. I think that's it.
Awesome.
Yeah.
Well, thanks so much for joining today.
Thank you.
That's it for today's episode. Like many long runs, it's sad when it has to end. I hope you join in next week on For the Long Run. And in the meantime, happy trails. If you've enjoyed this episode, it would mean a lot to me if you shared it so that others can find it and enjoy it too.